What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I got something for you all that I'm pretty excited to share. So this is with a champion who I unfortunately do not have on my account because this is a pretty awesome team. So I was working inside of GXD's account, and if you guys are interested in account takeovers or account work, you can click the link down below, fill out the form, message me on Discord, and we'll be good to go. But inside of his account, we are missing one key champion for the team that I use on my account. So my account, I use Kymar, 2 royal guards, Siphi, and then a Ghostborn. His account, surprisingly, he has amazing champions. He has tons of amazing champions, but no Kymar. Now you can still use the 2 royal guard strategy. You can use Painkeepers, you can use Renegades, a unique combination of each, and you can make it work, okay? So if you don't have the champion I'm about to show you, you can still make things work. But if you have these champions, you have a far easier time meeting the gear requirements for this dungeon than the previously mentioned Royal Guard strategy. So the Royal Guard strategy is the one that I use, but this one, it hasn't failed yet, he said, and he's ran quite a bit of runs with it, and it's very fast. So let's go ahead and check it out. We'll go ahead and get started with this. I'll go over the gearing, everything like that. There may be some teams already out there or some videos talking about this team. I'm not 100% sure. I know Akemtum was a super hot topic for a little while, but I don't have in my account, so honestly, I wasn't watching any of the Akemtum stuff. But this team works out excellent. I know my big blob over here is taking up half the screen. It seems like blocking Lydia and Seer. Seer taking a little bit of snooze, but that's okay. We got Mithrala to come in and cleanse that. So the first one we'll do full speed, and then we'll go in with one little 1x and kind of try to break it down a little bit more. So there we go, 30 seconds, and a very consistent 30 seconds. A lot of times with these runs, like the HP burn runs, the instant activations, the things where you're placing debuffs and relying on the debuffs, they can have a fail rate, because if you get resisted 3%, you're going to be in a bad situation. This run, we have so many situations where poisons are being applied, the hex is being applied, everything's being applied so frequently that, to be honest, even if we miss some poisons, miss a hex, it's not going to be the end of the world. We're still going to make this work at a very high consistent rate. Honestly, it should be 100% always. So here we go. We have Lydia opening up first. This is very important because those 2 spiders drop down the side, and then now we have the next 2 in the very back dropping down. So now Mithrala can go. So make sure your Lydia or somebody else is going very, very first before Mithrala goes. So now Mithrala has Hex on everybody. Dark Kale, he's going to come in, place a bunch of poisons onto the big spider boss. And Akemtum is not going to be using the A2 ability. Akemtum is going to jump on the big spider with that A1 ability, which attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit, 40% chance of placing 5% poison for 2 turns. But this is the important part. If the target is under a hex debuff, each hit also has a 40% chance of applying debuff spread effect, taking 1 random debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies. So that's very cool. So we got some poisons and then some debuff spread as well. So A1, boom, some extra debuffs on the enemies possibly. Not a huge deal. Seer is going to use her A2, getting herself ready for her next round when she's going to be using that big A3. So now she has a lot of buffs, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buffs on her, some buffs on everybody else. We're in a good spot right now. So we have Lydia opening with the A1. 2 more spiders dropping down. So now, unfortunately, Mithrala isn't going to be able to place Hex on everybody. That's fine, though. Hex is on cooldown anyways. So now we're just going to cleanse the Seer, which is super helpful because now Seer's turn comes around and she can use that karma burn without any issues whatsoever. Dark Kale is going to use his A1, pop some of those poisons, excellent, a little bit of extra damage, and now Akemtum is going to come in, spread some debuffs, and then Seer, doesn't really matter which debuffs got spread, to be honest, because now Seer is just going to do Seer things and destroy all the little spiderlings. So now the spider is left at basically no HP and just dies from the poison ticks. So it's a very consistent run, very smooth. We have the turn order from Lydia into Mithrala, and then Seer being very last. So she takes the sleep, and then Mithrala cleanses the sleep from her, which is a perfect, turn order there. Seer's placing the buffs on herself to add to more overall buffs on the team, so she can make sure to kill all those spiders, which is probably the biggest gearing threshold on this team. You got to make sure Seer can actually, kill all the spiderlings. I don't know what the exact breaking point on that would be, but you don't want her not killing the spiders, right? There we go, 31 seconds. And just for the sake of seeing how fast this is, let's see, or how consistent this speed is, let's see what happens. I'm going to say 29 to 31 seconds. I've not yet seen a run that is longer or shorter. So 29 to 31 seconds. I like this a lot. So my Royal Guard team has some weird situation. Actually, no, it's ran a ton and not failed. But it has gone a little bit over the average of 30 seconds. But this one, I don't think it can. I think it's just always 31 seconds. There we got no spreads there. Let's see how this works. So no debuff spreads whatsoever. We are going a little bit longer on the time, which is actually really good to see. This is actually really good. I'm glad to see this because I don't like things being 100% perfect all the time, you know? So they are. It's not super realistic. I want to make sure that, hey, what I'm sharing with you, what I'm sharing with you all, what I'm telling you is the facts. So here we go. We got some hex spreading, and there we go. The big spider's dead. So even if the run gets a little bit wonky, we don't have nothing spreading, we got some things happening, hey, it still works out great. Did look a little bit weird though, so there may be some fail conditions, but hey, it didn't. So that's excellent. The spider's still gonna take an absolute beating. Let's go check out the team presets, and then check out the gearing of these champions. So Akemtum, we have 231 speed. It's the only thing that really matters. Well, 231 speed and good HP and defense. You got to make sure Akemtum survives because the passive is bringing quite a bit. It's sharing the damage from the poisons onto targets who have hex, which is making this all just get tied together. You have to have Akemtum for this. If you don't, it's going to be rough. Now, Akemtum also has a speed aura, which allows me to build these other champions a little bit slower, but still go faster than the boss. So Dark Kale is sitting at 238, opening with the A or prioritizing the A3 ability. Decent HP. The speed is the most important thing. The speeds in the turn order is the most important thing, okay? So make sure you're faster than the spider. I wanted to pull it up to confirm, but the spider on stage 10 hard is 245 speed. So you need to make sure that you're going at least 245 after any auras are calculated for. So Dark Kale, there we go. Lydia, A1, number one priority. Decent HP, good defense, speed, accuracy, very, very important. Let's check the website, Hell80's website. So resistance is 320, so you're gonna need 345 accuracy minimum. So 345 accuracy, 245 speed or more after any increased speed, any auras are calculated for. Lydia, 260 speed, so she's the fastest on the team, like I said before. Seer doesn't need accuracy for this. She just needs to be fast enough to get her turns in the correct time. She's 214, just the typical Seer build, to be honest. Good crit damage, very, very common for Seer. Mithrala, she has good speed, slower than Lydia, good HP, good defense, and then accuracy, perfect. So there we go. Let's go ahead and check out their actual gear and their masteries real quick. So you guys can go ahead and get to building this team if you choose, because this is actually probably one of the easier teams, in my opinion, to build. That's super consistent, very fast, and doesn't require a ton of gear, honestly. So there we go, Mithrala. She's not even fully booked. She's missing some on the A1. Masteries has none. So once she gets those, it's going to be even better. We have Lydia. Her skills, there you go. Her masteries, we have some War Master stuff happening there. Akemtum, no masteries. We have some typical perception stuff. Honestly, could be level 50. Survives better at level 60s though, so you do want Akemtum to stay alive, of course. Skills, everything's fully booked. I have Commanding Presence just to boost the aura, but ultimately, it's not going to be a huge deal. You can technically run slower speeds if you have a bigger speed aura, but this working out excellent. No masteries. Seer does have masteries. You can see her crit damage and everything. Skills, everything's fully booked with Crushing Rend. And then Dark Kale, surprisingly, also has no masteries. Doesn't need them. But if you got Giant Slayer, it is going to help out quite a bit in those situations where the spider kills everybody, gets a little bit weird, and you need a little bit extra damage. Having Giant Slayer, having War Master on your champions could be that little extra bit that you need to actually save the run. So let's do this one more time, guys. We have Lydia opening up. Lydia is going to place the decreased defense and weaken. Now we have Mithrala going with an A2 ability. Also, Lydia is placing not only the decreased defense and weaken, okay, arguably more important, or just as important, she's placing the strengthen as well as the increased speed. Both very, very important. We had Mithrala placing her A2. We had Dark Kale doing his thing. Akemtum doing the A1 spread. Seer is going to do the A2 now. Seer's asleep. Not a huge deal because, oh, also Brimstone. If you got Brimstone, that's going to be even better. So now we have Lydia going with the A1 ability. Mithrala coming in with a cleanse to get rid of the sleep on Seer. Dark Kale using the A1, popping some of those poisons, and then Seer blowing her up, and then the spider taking a nap. There we go. It's as easy as that, guys. Spider Den, stage 10, hard mode. no max HP damage, relatively achievable. I'd say one of the easiest ones to build if you have Akemtum. Dark Kale is a free champion. Lydia is a free champion. Mithral is a free champion. Seer is difficult to get, and so is Akemtum. But outside that, if you can get Seer, if you can get Akemtum, I can almost guarantee that you can build this team. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you all in the next video.